The world's population is expected to hit over 9 billion by 2050 as projected by the United Nations. To feed this population means producing food on the same land space on which our ancestors have lived and farmed for centuries or even less. Now, this can only be sustained if we invest in and get innovative with our farming methods. The quest for food sufficiency in Ghana is being championed by various farmer groups and government interventions such as the Planting for Food and Jobs program. In a matter of days, the Minister of Finance is expected to present the 2019 budget to Parliament. This morning, we want to look at Agric financing with Nelson Godfred Ajiman, investment and Agric specialist. Great to have you here, sir. And
I'm not on it.
It will be proper for me to start by asking you, are you satisfied with what we have been doing with Agric financing so far as a people?
We actually rather need to take agriculture very seriously because it's going to be the future of our economy and our survival. We have to do more. It has to start from good policy. We have to have a comprehensive policy that looks at all the facets of agriculture properly, and then have a more robust financing system. At the moment, we don't have that.
Okay, so are you in any way suggesting that all the policies and interventions that over time, and I'm not focusing only on this government, but let's use this government initiatives and policies as example. You have the Planting for Food and Jobs, and you have seeds being given out for free to farmers, and other interventions hoping to boost production of agricultural produce. Are you saying that that is not enough?
Yeah, we have not done enough. We have not harnessed the potentials that we have. If I should even use marketing as an example, within the sub-region, when you look at when countries around Ghana are doing even more trade, agriculture trade within the sub-region. If I take agriculture trade altogether, Burkina Faso is doing about 78% agricultural trade in West Africa. Okay. Countries like Benin and Togo are doing 50 or 40%. Ghana is doing 18%. That shows that we have not harnessed our potentials. Partly also because we think we have the gold and the oil and the others. And so agriculture, that should be the mainstay of the economy, is neglected.
But some have argued really that we can only focus on agriculture as the mainstay. Others argue industries are important. So for example, if you produce the tomatoes, what do you do with them? And there are many different theories to how to sustain the economy and all that.
Yes.
But I'm going to ask you what we should be doing now, even looking at Ghana and the global perspective. Yes. What should we be doing as a people to harness this potential? You say we are not.
Yes. Let me tell you some facts that are very important. In Ghana, we have about 65% arable land. Altogether, you're talking of Africa. Globally, if we take the global arable land, Africa has 65% of that. So in fact, Africa is strategic for global food and nutrition security. And that has not been harnessed because our governments have not really taken a comprehensive look at the sector. And when we say agriculture or agribusiness, we don't only mean farming. Farming is just one aspect of it. But when you are talking of industry, we can do more industry. In fact, with even the current government's one district, one factory, if they really have to implement it, it means that majority will be agribusiness companies, because that's the backbone, So we need to do more comprehensively. And that is why the Chamber of Agribusiness is quite keen, trying to bring all the, if you like, agriculture businesses together, farmers and others, so that we will have a more professional look to the sector. It's a sector that we have not looked seriously as a business. Farming has so far been handled as some kind of charity. Even with smallholder farmers, we have to help them to begin to think as business people. Even however small they operate, they have to begin to think as enterprises and then do things professionally and be a bit more formal by putting formal processes in place in the same way that any serious business would do. These are things we have to do. There has to be more knowledge transmission, training, and capacity building. For example, if you take fertilizer, for example, we have a lot to do in that sector because we need to, as a country, decide if we are going to have comprehensive soil testing mapping to know what the nutrient level of the soil is all over the country and be able to strategize how our farming should go.
Okay.
We should take seriously the issue of educating and training farmers how to apply fertilizer so they will have productivity.
Okay. What about training them on how to handle, for example, the investments that come their way or the funds that some banks, make available to them? For example, we know that the Agric Development Bank has had to come out talking about challenges with loan payments, for example, with some farmers. How about that? How about the business of farming? Do the farmers really get it? Are they putting themselves out there to be attractive to investment?
With any country, when a government prioritizes a sector, it does give the sector certain incentives, stimulus. Government has to do certain things. In some countries, they will even protect that sector from external aggression, if you like. The banking and financing system for our agriculture at the moment is not friendly. The interest rates are impossible for smallholder farmers. So that is a non-starter. And if you give people loans at a very huge rate that other more formal sectors cannot handle, then you don't expect farmers to be able to pay. So if we are serious about this, we have to have what we call specialized and targeting financing. That is specifically aimed at smallholder farmers and then go into the medium farmers, then the commercial farmers. I hope you get it.
Yeah.
Because there are the unique risks that are associated with agribusiness. If you like, I would say is the most riskier of all the ventures that we have. So we have to give it a special attention, as it were, knowing the potential that it has to be able to galvanize and invigorate our economy. So that's the position I take.
Okay, Mr. Ajuma, let's look at budgetary allocation and disbursement of funds. In 2018, for the Food and Agric Ministry, we had 599 million cedis. But in 2017, it was much more, it was 760 million. Do you have cause to worry?
Yes, certainly. Besides that, the government or the country has to meet a CADEP target, which is the AU target of about 10% thereabout. We are interested in monitoring what happens in that direction.
Can you briefly explain to us what that target is?
Yes, because the AU, which is the countries around Africa, met and realized that there has not been a sustained and substantial financing for the agriculture sector. So they came together with a program which is abbreviated as CADEP, which is aimed at developing agriculture. And one of the goals is to have annual targets of budgets around 10% minimum.
Okay,
so we will be looking at it.
10% of the entire budget should go to agriculture.
So we are looking whether that 500 plus is actually 10%. Otherwise, we have to advocate.
Okay.
You and I have to ask the minister why that is the case. And even in overall terms, to move from, we should be moving up. We should be moving up. So to move from 700 to 500 is a matter of concern already. So
I mean, we broadcast to all parts of the country. If this is a farmer, maybe peasant or maybe somewhat small-scale farmer is watching and thinking that I think I can do much more than I'm doing now if I get the investment, what would your advice to them be?
The farmers. When you're vulnerable, you depend a lot on solidarity. That is why groups are very key. If you are a small farmer and you try to isolate yourself, it's going to be very difficult. That is the essence of the farmer-based organizations, farmer organizations and the cooperatives. I must admit there have been serious problems in that arena in the past, but with the Chamber of Agribusiness, there's a lot going on.
Help us understand. You belong to the Chamber of Agribusiness. Yes. What exactly do you do?
Actually, what we are currently doing is to bring all the players together. There are too many, if you like, fragmentation of farmer front. We need to come together. If you go to Nigeria, for example, they have mainly one farmers organization with 14 million people, almost half this population. We belong to a regional Anglophone farmers group that I'm the coordinating CEO, and so I know that as well. And it's formidable in Nigeria. We have something to learn from Nigeria in terms of coming together. So on the 20th and 21st of March, the Chamber has planned a national summit.
That's next year?
Yes.
Okay.
A national summit for farmers, organizations, cooperatives, and agribusiness, those who use their production inputs to produce food. So that is for small holders, medium-sized, and commercial farmers, because the Chamber is coordinating all of them. That is the process going on right now. It's been positive. It's not done yet. We haven't completed it, but that is being done. And we will see how it goes.
All right, I'll come back for your final words. But before that, baobab trees in parts of the country are dying as a result of climate change. Many of them have lost their fruiting potential, with branches and other parts of the giant trees falling off or rotting away. The economic implication for people who depend on what they call the cocoa tree can be devastating. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin assesses the impact of the dying baobab tree on the local and national economy. Here's his report read to you.
Abanga Akudbila walks towards his baobab tree, which is gradually decaying at the trunk. The tree is a source of livelihood for residents of Bante community. They sell the fruits and leaves, and it also provides shelter. School children here sell the fruits to buy their basic needs. Their economic fortunes are fast dwindling because the trees are unable to bear fruits as they used to. The baobab tree can survive more than 200 years. It is the largest flowering tree in the world, which can grow over 20 meters high. Though the trunk and branches store a lot of water, scientists say rising temperatures and droughts caused by climate change is gradually threatening the survival of the baobab tree. The reality of climate change stares at them.
So the ana pepes ma zoai to me the ana cool malen ka tangana da wala so to babanga so na nana la banna muso da song pa katagos ka de belima ba te se abe da som testangana mate se akai da ka som testangana
alo kai malangare to mayele te wana tunzi nana kar sam siama to maya yin bana ne anga songot ka ba gosiri te kar asom to meye te maborere.
They sit under the shade of these trees and watch them die each passing day.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report. Let me come to you, Mr. Jaman. Before you give us your final words, we've seen the issue of climate change here addressed. Is this a potential to scare away investment, or does it mean that those who want to invest have to do more? Because then you're not only trying to get the business running, but you're also trying to fight a natural factor that could affect your investment in agriculture.
In fact, it shouldn't discourage. The reason is that we are aware of the problem, and there are ways to mitigate and adapt to the situation. So what you do is that as part of your business planning and as part of the business model, you have to factor in what we call climate smart agribusiness approach, as it were, to foresee and forestall the issues that will come up, especially with adaptation. There are various ways to look at that. You do climate smart, it means that you put in certain interventions. You do sustainable intensification, for example, so that you maximize the production that you will have in a place. Instead of depending on rain-fed, for example, then you have to use irrigation, so you can do it all year round.
But that makes it more expensive, doesn't it?
Oh, basically, they are all already inputs into planned agriculture.
Okay. In your final words, can you tell us what you expect to see with regards to agribusiness financing in the budget, as we expect the finance minister to deliver it in a few days?
I was, with the hint you gave me, I'm already a little disappointed that the budget has reduced.
No, I actually referred to the 2018-2017. I don't know what's coming up in the 2019
I will expect it to go higher. If anything at all. In fact, the chamber has proposed for a special fund set up for agribusiness, and we hope that is done. And on our own, we are thinking of various investment funds for agribusiness. It is the time to, the world's attention has been shifted to food, because food is needed. In fact, the population, as you said, by 2050 is going to be 10 billion plus. And Africa is going to be key to feed the world. So global investors even know people who traditionally invest in the automobile or oil and gas and all that, all are shifting over into investing in agriculture. So we should position ourselves. And maybe that's why the private sector is key, because then if we put ourselves together well, put the institutional frameworks in place, there will be the possibility of courting global private capital into agriculture without burdening the state or the government.
Thank you very much for your time. Nelson Godfred Ajimang is with the Chamber of Agribusiness, and we've been talking about financing agriculture in the country and even looking at how we can put ourselves to be of global benefit.